Yo, what's up, guys? It's Friday night. Decided to read some stories. It's called 12 Terrifying Ghost Stories You Shouldn't Read Alone. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm reading it alone in my room on my tablet. But that doesn't matter. Okay. Hey, let's just start off. I'm gonna be making one of these every Saturday. I'm gonna read three for now. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's tough not to get freaked out when you're alone and you hear something bump in the night or even hear a voice. The stories below will freak you out, so it's best to read these with someone, preferably a friend and not a stranger you've decided to creep up behind you. Number one, the cell phone. Oh, these aren't really that long, but I'm still gonna. Oh, Jesus, right here. A couple of months ago, my friend's cousin, a single mother, bought a new cell phone after a long day over. She came home, placed her phone on the counter, and she went to watch TV. Her son came in and asked her if he could play with her new phone. She told him not to call anyone or mess with text messages, and he agreed. At around 11:20, she was drowsy and she decided to tuck her son in and go to bed. She walked to his room and saw that he wasn't there. She then ran over to her room to find him sleeping on her bed with the phone in his hand. Relieved, she picked up her phone, backed up from his hand to inspect it. Browsing through it, she only noticed minor changes such as a new background banner, etc. But then she only opened up her saved pictures. She began deleting pictures he had taken until only one new picture remained. When she saw it, she was in disbelief. It was her son sleeping on her bed, but the picture was taken by someone else above him, and it showed the left half of an elderly woman's face. And it's not that scary. Number 2, Ghost Bro. Oh, this is a long one. Yeah, I'll just read this last one, then maybe that'll be it. I don't know. Alright. My house was built in 1904. It is a single-family home, wooden frame setting on a concrete block foundation. I've been living here for about 12 years. Of all the weird things that my siblings and me have seen or heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother. About 10 years ago, my brother and his best friend had started a garage band, mostly playing Spanish rock, alternative music, but in Spanish. His friends could have his friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice into the early evening, and they would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This this was the time I usually showed up and went to bed because I worked a graveyard shift. Who works? Okay, first of all, who works at a graveyard shift in an old house? Just putting that out there. Okay. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session one day when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy so they could load up the equipment. Everyone had whatever, out of the basement, but the tricky part was that they need to walk all the way to the back of the basement, up back the stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall, into the living room, and out into the front porch. Everyone was outside, sitting in my brother's truck waiting for him. My brother was walking back up the stairs when he remembered that he had left his pancakes to go in a container to go, sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made the decision to go back. Now the basement is not clean. With full sight lines, there had been partitions, whatever, made, and the boiler room main heating until our right smack in the middle. So after my brother walks back, he's about to retrieve his food container when out of the corner of his eyes he sees it. It is a shadowy figure right in his peripheral vision. The feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. We had been taught that if you are in the presence of a spirit or a ghost and you felt a bad vibe, to say a quick prayer or to cuss at it. My brother chose the words later. He basically said, "Hey, F you, I don't have time for this." Yeah, I'm not swearing. Yeah, forget that. My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing doors and turning off the lights as he was walking out. The last switch is on the opposite side of the door. Luckily, the door was open and the light from the street lamp was flooding the living room with its amber light. My brother said he had felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flicked the last switch in the living room went dark, as did the rest of the house. As he stepped out, he pulled the door, closing it behind him, still holding his food and container in one hand. He jogged down the porch the few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate. Our house and resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard but no rear garage. As he closed the gap between himself and the friend-laden truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over and said, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on a seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the parking spot directly in front of his house. When one of his friends asked, "Hey, what about your brother? Isn't he come with us?" My brother answered, "What do you mean? He went to work earlier tonight. He's already gone." "Did you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked is, "So then who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?" I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty. Alright, this last one and I'm done. I'll just keep it short. Okay. The rocking horse. One night when I was maybe 10 or 12, I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was the entire top floor of our house, with my bed and such being on the left side, and storage closets and the play area being on the right. I was lying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room and seen a rocking horse begin to rock. It was just outside one of my storage closet doors. It proceeds to rock its way halfway across the room and stopped dead under the ceiling light. At this point, I was freaking out and just buried my head under my blankets and never peeked out again until morning. It was all confirmed to not be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being up out of bed playing with my toys well past bedtime. Their bedroom was directly below the storage closet area / play area, and had heard the creaking of the rocking horse shuffling across the room. Dang, bruh. You know what? Oh, look, Annie69 is typing in. 9669, I got this stuck on my head. We'll read it. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go to 10 minutes, I guess. We'll just read this one. The following. My older sister has a ghost that followed her around for years. I lived with her once for about 3 months and had so much weird stuff happen in it. All my sister would say to me is when I mentioned it was that her ghost didn't like me being there. There's nothing like going to bed with everything locked up and switched, and waking up in the morning with the back door open, lights on, the kettle switch on. One night, my sister and I were getting ready to go out, and I'd asked to borrow her liquid foundation. I used it and put it back where she kept her makeup. 10 minutes later, she's asking me for it, and it is nowhere to be seen. She accused me of taking it, and then made me buy her a new one, and refused to listen to my side of the story. About a year or so later, when she was packing up to move to a new house, she found the makeup in a shoebox with some old letters. The shoebox was in a zipped-up suitcase that was underneath her bed. But probably the most scared I ever felt was one afternoon, when I was alone in the house, which never happened as 4 other people lived there. I'd arrived home from work and headed straight to the bedroom. All the doors / windows, etc. were closed. I was standing in the bathroom and started squeezing a pimple on my chin when a female voice in the hall said, "Stop picking your zits." It was loud enough and sounded real enough, and at the time I thought it was my sister, so I laughed and told her to F off and asked what she was doing for dinner. No answer. I stuck my head into the hall. There was no one there. I searched the house top to bottom, and there was no one home. I sat out on the front porch until someone else got home because I didn't want to be in there alone. Dude. Dude, that's deadly. But, like, I'm tired. I had a long day. So, it's gonna be the end of this video. I'll make another one of these next Friday. Not sure what I'm gonna do over the week or the weekend. But, yeah, until next time, my brothers and sisters. No, I'm not Corey kidding. No, but see you guys in the next video. Bye.